Hello and welcome to another Bets Unwrapped episode. I'm your host at CMoney52 on Twitter. I'm joined by the one and only Alex Valdez. How's it going, Alex?
It's going good, man. How you been? Long time since I've been on the mic with you.
I know it's been too long, too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been good. You know, doing the gambling thing and living life as per usual. Uh, yeah, we're already at week 3, and the props are starting to settle down a little bit. We're starting to get a little bit more information on these teams as we go along, but there's still been tons of surprises so far. So I don't know how you feel about the first couple of weeks, but um, where's your head at after the first 2 weeks of the NFL season?
So I feel like week one, I kind of benefited from just like some of the uncertain lines with like Naheem Hines and Chase Edmonds with their receiving props. But I think week two is when Vegas got their money back and they kind of adjusted them in a way that I think I kind of bit a little bit. But I'm just trying to visualize the game script a little better. If you kind of get what I'm saying, like trying to make sure I don't let the stat sheet dictate directly if I'm going to go with the player. So let's see if we can cash this power parlay this week.
Yeah, the elusive power parlay. I always try to catch it this week, and we start off with the Baltimore Ravens against my Patriots. So it's a very interesting game. Obviously, the Ravens are 2.5-point favorites in this one. The Patriots are home dogs, which is always a scary premise if you're betting the money line in this one. There's just so many injury issues here for the Ravens and their secondary, and then I think they had offensive line issues as well. Obviously, the Dobbins is Dobbins going to play this week? I've heard that he
He's
might.
confirmed. He's confirmed to play.
They definitely need him because Kenny Drake and the host of ghosts of running backs they have in the backfield are not it. So, yeah, I definitely think this game is very intriguing as far as everything goes, because the Patriots did end up beating the Ravens. They've had some success with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. So it was a rain game though, but yeah, I think
Oh, right. I remember that game. Yes.
yeah, it's a bit
Belichick
of a
affected
slog.
the weather.
Right, called in the weather. So as for props, is there anything that jumped out to you or that you want to have a look at?
There were two lines that caught my attention, and they were kind of supported just by what I've seen the last couple weeks. But the first one was Lamar Jackson over 51 and a half yards rushing. He's covered that in two previous spots against New England, and as we've seen, he'll definitely make a play happen. There's no questioning that. And then Rashad Bateman at over 48 and a half yards receiving. He's covered that in two straight. And I think after this past game, I think I'm a lot more confident with him. And with the line being under 50, I think that's very much in reach.
Yeah, the prop I wish we had is the Jacoby Myers receptions. I guess I'm not going to get that until closer to kickoff, but I would really love if we got that. I mean, even Jacoby Myers 50 plus yards, $1.85. That's pretty. I like that just because he's been getting, a lot of targets. So Bateman, I do agree. Even though some of his production's been buoyed by like ginormous plays.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, there's nothing in the Patriots secondary that really like terrifies me from playing him. So um, the Lamar Jackson rushing thing is a good one, but I think like in week 1, where he just refused to kind of run. He didn't refuse to run, but he like just didn't have to run, I guess.
Mm.
I don't know if he's going to have to run in this game. If Dobbins is back and they can actually throw the ball consistently, I don't necessarily think that he will need to run as much. But I know it takes one play. We saw him run for 79-yard touchdown last week, something like that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to take Bateman in this one because I'm a bit of a Bateman guy anyway. So I could take Bateman over 48.5.
I wish I had him more in Dynasty.
I mean, I thought I told you. I told you to do it a lot. Sorry. All right, so we go Bateman.
Yeah, let's go Bateman. I like that.
All right, we'll go Bateman, and we'll move on from that game. We'll head to the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, probably the marquee matchup this week. The Bills are down well, they were down to 4.5. Now it's 5.5. 5.5 point favorites in this one. The total's at 52.5. I believe that I heard from Warren Sharp that most of the games with Tua versus the Dolphins have gone way over the total. So that's interesting. 51's the key number. So just keep that in mind. That I think it's 4% of NFL games end at 51. So that's why you're getting, like, if you tried to buy it down a little bit, that's why you're seeing such a big difference with the 51 market. So with this game, I kind of like Stephon Diggs. Look, the Dolphins, while they are a heavy man team, they just have not been able to get pressure. And they've been blitzing, I think, the second most so far this year. And they've gotten the second most pressure this year, which is not two things that you don't want to do. And also two things you don't want to do against Josh Allen. Josh Allen is one of the best QBs against the blitz. And I just don't see how Miami gets pressure in this game. So if you're not getting pressure and you got Stephon Diggs in man-to-man coverage, I don't know what your plan's going to be, especially even if you have Xavier Howard on there on Diggs. I think he can still be successful, as we saw him be successful against the Rams as well.
Yeah, and see, like with the ones that caught my eye the most was Jalen Waddle at 64.5 and Tyreek Hill at 72.5, and that has a lot to do with the Bills secondary being banged up, and I just think that one of them, if not both, should go over their totals, especially in this type of game.
Definitely, yeah. The 64.5 seems super low. Diggs receptions is at 6.5. I like that. Waddle's receptions at 5.5. I'm not sure what he had. What did Waddle have last week as far as receptions?
Last week he had a hell of a game. Let's see, Jalen. He had 11 receptions for 171 yards on 19 targets. So he did have the lion's share of the targets last week.
He only had 4.
And they were down a ton.
Yeah. He had four receptions against the Patriots, so it's hard to justify. But I do think if this is going to be a high-scoring game, I don't think we have to worry about any of these receivers in this game. So
yeah, I like all three of them, to be honest.
One other player that I do want to say that I do like is Josh Allen's longest pass, over 37.5 yards. I played this last week against the Dolphins with Lamar Jackson, and Rashad Bateman hit a big play just because of the blitz factor and the man-to-man coverage stuff. So, if you do get a breakdown, which is bound to happen, big plays, you're susceptible to big plays. So I like that play as well. So if you're looking for something to bet on for Josh Allen, I like that one. All right, decision time. Waddle over 64.5.
Let's go Waddle. Right. I like that.
Waddle over 64.5 is in the Power Parlay. And we move on to the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. The Saints are 2.5 point favorites in this game. The total's at 41.5. This game, oh man, I struggled to find a lot to like in this game.
I was sheepish on it as well.
Sorry?
I was sheepish on it too. Like, I only have one that I was going to bring up.
Yeah, okay. So Alvin Kamara is banged up. He's got the rib cartilage issue. So while I would love just to play Alvin Kamara rushing yards in this game, because Carolina so far has been not very good against the run, which is a little bit surprising coming in from the preseason. So, but that would probably be my lean if he was healthy, but he's not healthy. So he could definitely have a reduced role and we could see a lot more Mark Ingram in this spot as well. So, and I have no Mark Ingram props at the moment. what were you looking at?
The one I was looking at was Michael Thomas over 4.5 receptions. He's had 8 and 9 targets in the last 2 games. And that was just the one that I could feel the most comfortable seeing. Everything else, like you said, with Alvin Kamara's injury and just the Panthers. Like I was looking at McCaffrey's lines, but they were kind of right at the point where I probably wouldn't feel comfortable with them. So Michael Thomas at 4.5 receptions is where I land on.
I I like either of those. So I like Thomas at over 4.5. That seems reasonable. And you're getting plus money right now, plus 102, so $2.02 on decimal system. I like Chris Olave receptions as well, over 3.5, $1.98. He got like 12 targets last week. It looked like they were trying, like, looked like Jameis was actively like trying to get him more involved. He
Yeah, and if
had
it wasn't for that fumble he had, I mean, for all we know, he could have ended up with a touchdown that game.
Right. I mean, he had 3 catches versus the Falcons, 3 for 41, and 5 catches last week, 5 for 80 against the Buccaneers. I could see them, you know, continually trying to get him more involved in this offense. Looking at Michael Thomas, like you said, he had 5 catches against the Falcons, 6 against the Bucks. And if they get in any kind of trouble, I could see them just kind of funneling targets to Michael Thomas in this one. So I think we'll watch Olave this week, but we're going to take Michael Thomas over 4.5 receptions. Just keep in mind that Olave line, because if he goes for like 4 today, if we get that 3.5 again next week, I think we take it. So keep an eye on Olave as we move on from that Saints game and we go to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are like the worst team in the NFL. All right, that might be a little bit over the top, but they look terrible.
It's justified.
Yeah. The Chiefs are 5.5 point favorites in this game. The total's at 50.5. I don't know how the Colts get to score points in this game, but fair enough. 50.5 it is the total. Is there anything that jumped out to you in this one?
There were two. I'll just say the obvious one first. Travis Kelce. I think after last week's not dud, but last week's rough game, I think he'll have a smoother sailing here against Indianapolis. And then the other one that I liked was it is Naheem Hines at over 25.5 yards receiving, which he's covered in the last 2, and he's had 6 and 5 targets in the first 2 weeks. So I think his usage should dictate him going over.
Yeah. This game could be ugly because this is the Gus Bradley defense that Patrick Mahomes has just absolutely dominated. We saw that last year where Gus Bradley just refused to not come out of his like standard cover 3 shell, and they just torched him all over the field. And I agree with you. I think this is a Travis Kelce game. Travis Kelce destroys Gus Bradley. I just don't see how he doesn't get to 75 plus yards in this game. I just think he crushes it. So his current line right now is at 73.5. I think we take Travis Kelce and we don't even think about it.
I'm with it.
All right, too easy. We're moving along here. All right, we got the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. This is a fun game. The Vikings are 6-point favorites in this one. The total's at 52.5. Lots of points expected in this one. The Lions have been frisky. The Vikings looked like crap last week. What do you have on this game?
In this game, I like DeAndre Swift over 22.5 yards receiving, and then Dalvin Cook over 77.5 yards rushing. And I do like him for an anytime touchdown as well. I think the last 2 weeks they didn't really get a chance to give him or this last week, they got just absolutely dominated, so he was game scripted out of the game. I definitely think they're going to get him involved early on, so I like that one at 77.5 and the anytime.
Oh, man. Dalvin Cook hurt me last week.
Oh, hurt me too.
Looking here, Amon-Ra total receptions is at 6.5. I kind of like that.
Amon-Ra's receptions is very popular one I see like on gambling Twitter.
Yeah, it's just because this Viking secondary has been shredded pretty much the last 2 seasons, and now, coming into this game, like the Vikings didn't show us anything really last week against Jalen Hurts, who we all had questions about his throwing ability, and then for him to come out and just kind of do whatever he wanted against this Vikings secondary wasn't too promising a sign. And on that, I really like Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns today, tomorrow. I just think that the way that this Detroit team is set up, the total's at 52.5. I think Jared Goff has 2 passing touchdowns in this game. I
like
don't
that one a
see
lot.
how. Yeah, it's just he had 3 against them the last time they played. I think he's gone basically he with the Rams he had like 5 and then he had 0 and then he had 3 and then he had 0. So it's just been kind of weird. But the way this current Lions team is constructed, I like the over 1.5 passing
Let's do
touchdowns. All right. Jared Goff. Who would have thought Jared Goff was going to make the Power Parlay?
Right? And I'm not even worried.
And I'm not worried, yeah. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Seawards. All right. The Eagles are minus 6.5 point favorites. The total's at 47.5. All right. I'm going to say something crazy. I think Washington is kind of frisky in this spot. I think the public's going to be on the Eagles, obviously. Everyone's going to be hammering the Eagles. I kind of like Commanders plus 6.5 in this game to be a little bit sneaky. So I don't know how you feel about this game and what props we're looking at, but I mean, my first thought is that I go back to the well on Curtis Samuel, but I'd like to hear your take.
I like AJ Brown to shred this Washington secondary at over 74.5. And I also do like, and this one is less, but I just wanted to mention it, Dallas Goedert over 48.5 yards receiving, because I know a lot of people had preseason were thinking it was going to be the Devontae Smith and AJ Brown show, with Goddard kind of taking a little bit more of a back seat, and he's definitely held his own on the receiving end. So I like both Eagles targets on this one.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I like Curtis Samuel over 4.5 receptions, $1.80. I think just the amount of work that he's gotten the last 2 games, I don't think that's an aberration. I think that's actually how they view him in this offense. Like he's even getting backfield snaps. Like he had 8 catches against the Jaguars and he had 7 catches versus the Lions. Like 4.5, like seems easy to me.
Yeah, his targets are just very just makes that prop very enticing. He's at 11 and 9 in the first 2 weeks, so he's definitely looked for early and often.
And they give him like screens and easy completions as well. So, he's coming out of the backfield, he's getting checkdowns. Like I think he's running wheel routes and things like that. So we can always go 2. You go AJ Brown over 74.5, and no, we'll go 1. We'll take yours.
Yeah,
we'll take AJ. We'll take AJ Brown.
All right, let's do it.
All right. If it falls by AJ Brown, I'll be mad. No, I'm just kidding.
It'll be on me.
The Las Vegas Raiders and the Tennessee Titans. The Raiders are 1.5 point favorites. The total's at 45.5. Like the Raiders have to win this game, I feel like, else it's curtains really. They really need a win. And this Tennessee team just seems to be falling apart. Looks like Taylor Lewan is out for the season. Derrick Henry looks slow and not effective. I just don't know what we're going to get from, that Titans offense right now with Tannehill as quarterback. It could be Malik Willis season pretty quickly here.
Yeah. There's 2 plays I'm looking at. The first one is Traylon Burks over 42.5 yards receiving. He's covered that in 2 straight. His usage is going up, which is also encouraging with the younger guy. And then there's the easy option, let's not say easy with the Raiders, but Devontae Adams anytime touchdown as well.
Yeah, Devontae Adams anytime touchdown. What's that paying, like $1.60? $1.85.
Okay.
So it's not terrible. It's not as bad as Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry touched on $1.72. So um, considering that Josh Jacobs is out, right? He didn't go on the plane.
Oh, he flew out today.
Oh, okay.
So now the
And then
Zamir White, like everybody running to go get him, it might see now it's risky to have either of them on your lineup, depending on like if you're not, when you're like me, when you have 35 leagues, you kind of have to make a more secure decision.
right.
Can't believe you conned me into taking so many leagues. I was in 3 calmly, just enjoying my Sunday. Now every time I watch football, I'm like clapping for everything because I have everybody.
It's facts. The fantasy life. Yeah, Brandon Bolden, touchdown, $4. Just saying. In this game, yeah, I would look at. I don't mind Treylon Burks over 42.5 yards. It only takes one. Like, he's capable of kind of slipping a tackle and gaining 30 yards real quick. The other is Devontae Adams receiving yards is a bit high. It's 82.5, but he barely, he had 2 catches last week. I think, they try to get him going in this one a little bit more. But I find this game super tough to find a prop that I really like. So I'm happy to go with Treylon Burks over 42.5. If you're cool with that. Otherwise,
let's do it.
Just checking out those interception markets real quick. But yeah, Treylon Burks over 42.5. He's going to make it in. And we'll move on from that terrible game and go to another terrible game. Houston Texans versus Chicago Bears. The Texans are getting 3 points in this game. The total's only 39.5. 39.5. Not good.
Oh, the Bears.
The Bears, how the mighty have fallen. I don't know if they were ever mighty.
Maybe I was going to say what the one year with Trubisky, where Trubisky looked like he might be good.
No, I think it was like even farther back.
The 80s.
Kyle Orton days.
Oh.
I mean, Lovey.
Do you remember Rex Grossman?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Rex Grossman. Yeah.
I mean, Lovey Smith revenge game.
Ooh. Love finding narratives like that.
Texans big win, $6.50. There you go.
That'd be a fun one to sprinkle with the Bears.
40+. All right, in this game, I immediately got at Justin Fields and his pass attempts. It's at 25.5. It was at 30.5 last week, and he threw
that was hilarious when you look at what he had at halftime. What he had, like 9 or something, 10.
Yeah, he did not throw the ball at all. So if I ever see this at like 28.5 again, I'm definitely going under. 25.5 is just so low for an NFL quarterback to actually throw the ball less than 25 times is tough to find. Other props in here: Khalil Herbert, 25.5 yards rushing. I know everyone is back on the Montgomery train, but Khalil Herbert's been getting run out there as well, and I really like the way he runs. Like, he's an explosive runner. He's not, like the ground and pound kind of David Montgomery touches. But he, in the last 2 games, he had 4 carries for 38 yards against the Packers, and he had 9 carries for 45 yards against the 49ers. So I could see, if they continue to be like this run funnel team, the Chicago Bears, I could see both running backs going over their totals. Montgomery's at 69.5 as well. So I'm cool with either of those. Dameon Pierce is at 16.5. Not touching Rex Burkhead at all. And then receiving wise, we got our guy, Brandon Cooks. He's at 60.5.
60.5. I actually really love that Khalil Herbert one, especially because I just don't think this Bears offense is gonna stop running the ball regardless of what the score is based on their team makeup. The other one I like was just Dameon Pierce, just his usage from week 1 to week 2, and this Bears run defense just kind of being Swiss cheese. I think he eclipses that, and I even have a bet on him getting his first touchdown.
Ooh, there you go, little value there for you.
Oh yeah.
Because that plus 170, $2.70 decimal system for anytime touchdown for Dameon Pierce. First touchdown score would be interesting at $9.50. I think that might be a sprinkle for me there as well. All right, let's go. Let's put Khalil Herbert in. Let's get weird.
Let's do it.
All right, Khalil Herbert's in the Power Parlay, over 25.5 rushing yards for him. And we're going to move on to the Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Jets. The Bengals are 6-point favorites in this one. The total's at 44.5. And wow, the Bengals. I coming into the season, I thought that it was possible, like they look a little worse than what we thought, but yeah, I didn't expect this.
I mean, I will say as a Steelers fan watching that first game, what up, CJ? Watching that first the Steelers Bengals game, Corey, I was blown away at the amount of turnovers that Joe Burrow had. Just because, like, you think of Joe Burrow, especially with like the whole moniker he has, the Joe Shiesty, like all that stuff. Like he's just always so cool, calm, and collect. It was just such a surprise to watch the turnover game. Which, by the way, Corey, I've now joined the IDP Nation, and I had Minka that week 1 who put up 42 points.
IDP Nation.
Look what you did to me.
No, I did not do you. I did not.
Nah, but you threw me in the rabbit hole, and now I landed there.
All right, fair enough. We got props wise. I've already bet Michael Carter over 2.5 receptions.
Interesting. 2.5.
Yeah,
seems kind of low.
It's super low.
Let me see.
It's only $1.60 now. I think I got $1.68. So it's moved. The juice is moving. Soon it's going to be could bump up to 3.5 here soon. So, but still 2.5, $1.60. I really like that play just because he's absolutely been targeted a ton in the passing game, and I know everyone's on the Brees Hall thing, which is fun. But Michael Carter still outsnapped him last week. So passing situations, I like Michael Carter, and I expect them to be losing in this game. So
yeah, dump off and all that.
Anything else that jumped out to you?
I like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but that might just be me thinking it's just the Joe Burrow show on Sunday.
Yeah, I think those guys. Look, Jamar Chase. I think he's due, right? I mean, he's due for like that kind of a game that kind of everyone's kind of expecting from him. I don't think he's had that breakout game yet. Oh, that's not entirely true. He tore up your Steelers pretty good.
And he made some amazing catches in the end zone. One that should have been a touchdown, but they didn't call it, and then he ended up getting it anyways. But yeah, he had 10 for 129. So yeah. I expect to see some kind of stat line around there. What's Garrett Wilson's line is, because I know the fantasy community in the redraft area is like telling everybody to go get him, but people like me who are in 35 leagues, you already had him in your bench.
He's at 50.5 receiving yards.
See, I would like that too, especially with his target share increase from week 1 to week 2. But you know what? I mean, that Michael Carter one, see, I don't have it's funny. Having so many leagues has helped me kind of like mentally. That's why I'm on the tackling props because of all the IDP stuff. Yeah, that Michael Carter one's good. I don't have Michael Carter anywhere in fantasy, so I feel like that's why I didn't even realize like his receptions. But what do you think?
Well, what if we go? Let's get cute here. Let's go Garrett Wilson 50 plus, and we go Chase 70 plus.
I think they both hit, to be honest.
All right. So we're adding a double here, but we're getting good value there. So
yeah,
there you go. We're already to 500 to 1 odds in the Power Parlay, and we'll move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Los Angeles Chargers. The Jacksonville Jaguars are plus 3.5 now. Holy cow, this line's moved. Is
Wow.
Herbert not playing?
They're saying they're expecting him to play, but it's Chase Daniel, right? That's the backup.
Yeah.
He had been doing running the first team reps the last I think day or two of practice, and you know what that means that late. So
yeah, I should have jumped on the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 7. Oh, that sucks. That it's moved so much. It was 7.
Yeah,
Literally 7.
Yeah, no, that's a huge jump.
42.5. I think we have to stay away from anything Chargers.
Yeah, no Chargers on this one. No. I even tried to look in the rushing market, but I feel like they're not going to put those. I didn't see any lines out for them, so I feel like they're just going to wait till game time to confirm it.
Yeah, to see who's playing and how it shakes out. Because I guess the one thing I would look at was probably Eckler catches or receptions. With Chase Daniel in there, I don't think he's going to be trying to like chuck the ball down the field a ton. I think there's going to be, if anything, he's going to be chucking it down a lot. So as for the Jags, we got James Robinson, who's been a pleasant surprise all year long.
Yeah, kudos to him coming back from that Achilles injury and kind of
going
from where he left off.
I'm just going to check his carries the last couple of weeks just because I feel like if the Jaguars are going to win this game, and if they get up early,
they're going to feed him the rock.
He had 23 carries against the Colts.
With a good game script there.
Yeah, and 11 carries against Washington where they're in comeback mode. His current rush attempts at 13.5.
See, the only thing that scares me is just the fact that like they haven't officially I feel like they're waiting to see how he wakes up tomorrow. Talking about Justin Herbert before making the call. What's Kirk's receptions at?
Kirk's receptions at 4.5. What?
That is okay. So I actually want to go look at that. Just because $1.50.
$1.60. It's right at the threshold. Yeah.
Because he's had 12 targets week 1, week 2 with the positive game script. He only had 6, but he had 6 receptions in both. And it seems like Trevor looks his way a ton.
Is that a JC Jackson thing? Are we scared of JC Jackson? I'm not scared of JC Jackson.
Well, see, my thought with this is like I feel like if Chase Daniels is out there, do we think that the Chargers offense is gonna be like, how do I say this, like the Steelers offense, where you have a solid secondary, but they're gassed by the second half, and then they start allowing the ducks? Etienne 14.5 receiving was also tempting.
Yeah, that is super tempting. 14 so low.
Yeah.
But we know how those running back props go. So
yeah,
we'll be like, check it down, and we like catch one for like 3 yards or negative 3 yards.
You know what? I'm kind of leaning towards that James Robinson prop you were looking at.
The carries?
Yeah.
Plus money, 13.5.
I like that. Chase Daniel season. Let's go.
All right, putting James Robinson in. We are currently at 1,000 to 1 odds. So we got 11 legs in there right now, and we're moving on to the Atlanta Falcons and the Seattle Seahawks. The Falcons are getting a point in Seattle. The total's at 41.5. I like the Falcons here. Falcons have been frisky all year. They've just been on the brink. They should have probably won their first 2 games, to be honest. But they're doing Atlanta Falcons thing. So Seattle, after that week 1 game, I think they are kind of a shell of themselves. I just think they should. Yeah, it's just been ugly for them. So
they got the one victory they wanted. Seahawks are fired for the year.
Super Bowl complete.
See.
Looking at player props, is there anything that you liked on this game?
Drake London, I think I saw his line at 56.5 yards receiving. He had 7 targets week 1, 12 week 2, 74 and 86 respectively week 1 and 2. So I think he continues to be the focal
Ooh,
point. And for those of
56
us,
and a half seems low.
it's very low, and especially for
Very
those of us
low.
hoping for Kyle Pitts to get anything left over of the crumbs. Yeah, this
I
feels like a good week. Let's not put the Kyle Pitts thing that I'm going to say on the parlay, but this feels like one of those sneaky weeks to put a first touchdown on Pitts, just because of
it's,
how
yeah, they
the public
scheme him a
discussion with the
touchdown.
coach.
Yeah, they scheme him a touchdown. Kyle Pitts' first touchdown is 13-1.
I'm gonna sprinkle on that.
Anytime is $3.35.
That's
So
actually that's actually pretty decent value.
yeah, it's really good value.
You know, considering he's only
Um,
scored a touchdown and he hasn't. Has he scored a touchdown in America? Or was it just that one in London?
I don't know. I think he has.
That's such a funny stat for a long time that he hasn't scored a touchdown in America.
That is funny. Mariota rushing yards at 28.5.
How's he been doing on the ground? Let's see.
He's been running. I think that is an interesting one as well, just because you know how effective he can be with his legs.
He had 72 in week 1 on 12 attempts and 16 yards on 6 attempts in week 2. But the Rams front is a lot more formidable than the Seahawks. Even though shout out Dynasty 3 linebacker Jordan Brooks.
Yeah, for sure. So looking at what we have, I think we just go Drake London over 56.5.
I love that.
You don't need to overcomplicate it. Add in Drake London and watch him. You said he had 75 basically. Did he have 75 both weeks?
He had, let me pull it up. He had 74 week 1, 86 week 2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So just inquiring because that 75 plus market is interesting. Or 70 plus is $2.70. So it's pretty good value. If you're looking to the alt markets, or if you like laddering things, those are always good options. So
it's always good till the first one don't hit, and then you're looking at yourself.
Yeah,
I'm glad I do it. Strikeout props got me like that a few times this season.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah. Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, two old guys heading off against each other. The Packers are getting 1.5 points in this game. The total is super low. I think it's at 41.5. Like that is crazy to me. I think it opened up a lot higher. It's gone down a ton. Got bet down. What do you like in this game? Packers and Buccaneers.
So this might just be me talking out of my ass because of Twitter, but Leonard Fournette anytime. He promised us more touchdowns. I think he's going to deliver this week.
Leonard Fournette anytime. Plus 105.
That's impressive considering of all the Bucs injuries. You know what I mean? No Mike Evans with suspension. Godwin's still out. Julio hasn't been practicing. It's the Russell Gage show this week, right?
Russell Gage and Cole Beasley.
Oh God, and Rashad Perriman.
Yeah, that's a thing. Aaron Jones receiving yards is at 28.5. I like that. I don't know if they can run against this Bucs front. No one really does run against them. So
yeah,
I think Aaron Jones in the receiving game is interesting at 28.5. Other than that, I think you're right. I think looking at what's Leonard Fournette's rushing. Oh, I don't even have it because I was going to look at his attempts. But 70.5 rushing yards is too high for me.
Yeah.
I think I had him last week at 60.5, and it was a sweat. It's an absolute sweat. So Touchdown wise, I think I agree with you. Just looking at Tom Brady throw interception. Just kidding.
Oh man. Oh Brady.
All right. We'll go with Leonard Fournette here. I think it's probably
It's good value
it's not
considering where he is on that team right now.
yeah, for sure. Like plus we're getting plus money on it, so we'll take it and try to run out of here with the dub on that one. So moving on from the Buccaneers game, we're gonna go to Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. I just want to see more pictures of Kyler Murray getting manhandled.
Oh jeez. Is it a double experience weekend of Call of Duty this week? Because that'll dictate a lot about what's going on with the Cardinals offense.
And then I'm sure everyone saw the meme, or not really the meme, but the breakdown of Kyler Murray's run the other
Oh,
day.
that's what you were
It was
talking about. I thought you were talking about like
like
somebody
the
like hit him hard. Oh, you're talking about the fan interaction.
no, I'm talking about him running around for like 20 seconds and someone saying like, this is like when your like 6-year-old takes your phone and you're like, can I have it
Oh my
back?
god. I think it was like last offseason when I heard the joke about that Kyler Murray runs like a toddler, and I can't unsee it when he's in the pocket, especially with that Raiders game. I can't unsee it.
Yeah, it's too funny, man. It's too funny.
Oh, and then real
So,
quick, satisfying moment watching the Raiders fans at the bar go from the loudest, rowdiest, happiest fan base in the bar to leaving really upset. Oh man.
so this game, props wise, what do you like?
I didn't see it on my book, but do you happen to have Higby receptions? Just bear with me.
Yeah. Have everyone. Oh no, I do. Yeah, 4.5.
Okay, because his yard total is around 43.5 as well. Usage wise, I mean, he's had 11 targets week one for 5 receptions, 39 yards, and then 9 targets, 7 receptions, 71 yards. That was the one play that like I don't want to say confident in, but like the one that like really intrigued me the most. What did you see in this game?
I don't really love this game at all.
Me neither.
Like, I mean, you could just always just go Cooper Kupp since he gets like 22 targets a game. I think like his catches is all the way up to 8.5 receptions.
And he'll probably cover knowing his usage.
But I can't, in my right mind, say, yep, take that one.
What are his
Marquise
yards
Brown,
at?
who?
Cup.
98.5.
Oh Jesus.
I think it's kind of gross on props here. Darrell Henderson rushing yards, 38.5. Do we hate Darrell Henderson yet?
No, I actually, fun fact, I don't. I went a lot of zero RB approach this year, and Darrell Henderson is a godsend in the late rounds. Let's see, he had 47 in both weeks. Wow, what's the line at?
38.5.
What was his what was his carries? Did you see week one when I saw how low his carries and yards were?
Yeah, well, that's because everyone thought Cam Akers was going to be the starting.
Oh my god.
I don't have
that was such a great start to the season to just have that like no sweat cash.
his rush attempts is at 9.5.
I mean, he's at 13 and 10.
Yeah, because
even with Akers getting. Go ahead.
Akers at 10.5 carries. Something seems fishy about this line.
Is it weird that I want to?
Cardinals aren't good.
Is it weird I want to smash the over on the Henderson carries? I think that's way too low. I just think I don't see a game script where he doesn't see at least 10 carries.
Right. even when they got smacked against Buffalo, he had 13 carries.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Uh,
He did have
you know,
8 in the first half for what it's worth, but 5 in the second half of that smashing is still nice.
9.5 seems way too low.
Yeah, listen. I'm with you on the Henderson train. I would love to add this to the parlay.
Yeah, we're gonna take Daryl Henderson over 9.5 carries at $1.96. So basically a minus 105 for those American odds people out there. All right, we're gonna move on to the
Us
San
darn
Francisco
Americans.
49ers. San Francisco 49ers and the Denver Broncos. The 49ers are 1.5 point favorites in this game. I love I love the 49ers in this spot. The
I was
total's
gonna be
at
like, wow,
43.
you love the Broncos?
No, I do not love the Broncos. There's nothing I love about the Broncos right now. That coaching staff is just a nightmare, and Russell Wilson just refuses to run the ball ever. So Jimmy Garoppolo back at the helm. We're back. The 49ers are
Yay.
prohibitive favorite again. What do you like in this game?
Oh, geez.
Jimmy Garoppolo, 5 touchdowns.
I mean, the only one that I saw, because my book didn't really have a lot of the props, but the only one that I saw that I kind of liked was Sutton, just because Judy's banged up and they haven't had Hamler in the last few games. I think Sutton was at 55.5, and if I remember correctly, he has covered that nicely both times. Yeah,
58.5 now.
58.5. Even then, I still feel comfortable with it because he had 7 targets week 1. Week 2, he had 11. Granted, some of those may have been a product of Judy being hurt, but Judy did. I think he got a partial, partial participation on Friday.
Yeah.
So I gotta think the Broncos are gonna make sure to scheme Sutton the ball with him being the healthiest of the receivers.
Yeah, it's fair. I'm probably looking at the other side of the ball in this one. As looking at the 49ers stuff here, Deebo Samuel,
You don't like Russ cooking?
4.5 receptions. It's $1.76. What'd you say?
So you don't like Russ's cooking?
No, he's a terrible cook. I think there was I saw a GIF of Kendall Jenner or whatever cooking. Like she can barely cut the cucumber. She's holding the knife wrong.
That was a very weird way of her to hold that, by the way. I don't care how much money you make. I don't know how your brain makes you hold the knife that way, but did you see the meme of they said let Russ cook, and then Russ is cooking, and it's like a bowl of Cheerios with 2 weenies and a slap of American cheese. Broncos fans are in the gulag right now.
Yeah, man, for real. The amount of stuff that they had to give up for Russell Wilson, geez. And then give him a contract.
You know what? Since maybe that was fate's way of paying back the Seahawks for how Jamal Adams has been, what that trade has been.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. So I like AU catches as well. Over 3.5. It's $1.65. I don't think he really got to be really involved in this offense at all with Trey Lance. It was just more kind of, run down the field and hope Trey Lance throws the ball down 40 yards down the field. You catch it. I think he's going to be a little bit more schemed in now with Jimmy Garoppolo involved. So I think 3.5 receptions at $1.65. Not getting tons of value, but I do like that one. Deebo is at 4.5. He had 5 catches last week. That's at $1.76. So I don't know how you feel about either of those, but I don't mind Sutton either. It's just he's going to have to throw to someone. Javonte is a little bit interesting because I think game script will actually get him more involved in the pass game in this one. So Javonte over 22.5 yards receiving is intriguing to me. Even his receptions because I think he only had 1 catch last week.
Yeah, last week he had 1 on 4 targets, and the week before when they were
losing,
when they were losing, it was 12 targets for 11. Because I remember he was definitely putting up the numbers on fantasy just solely from getting so much usage in the passing game. So yeah, the Javonte one would be a really good one as well.
All right, you get to choose.
Let me see. You said you like Debo too, right?
Yeah, Debo receptions. Yeah,
Take a quick glance, a quick gander at his stats.
he had 2 versus the Bears, and he had
I
5
love how
versus.
they have his rushing as the first thing you see on NFL reference now. Like way to adapt, I guess. So you like receiving or
I like his
uh,
receptions.
receptions at yeah, it was at 4.5.
Yeah.
See, I'm curious to see if because I was watching the game, but it was one of many at the bar, and I'm wondering if the of the 5 receptions, how many of them were at the hands of Jimmy G? Because it was pretty
Well,
early on that Lance got hurt, right?
yeah, I think it was in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Because look at, I mean, if you look at 2021 with Jimmy Garoppolo as quarterback, I mean, he had 12 targets, 9 receptions, 8 targets, 6 receptions, 10 targets, 5 receptions, 13 targets, 8 receptions, 11 targets, 7 receptions, 9 targets, 6, 9 targets, 5, 5 targets, 5. That was, so he's hit that pretty much every single, he's had 5 receptions every game that
Okay.
Jimmy's played now since
Yeah. Okay.
November
You know what?
15th.
I'm on board. Look,
I'm on
I
board
like
if they
the
even more now. I'm
yeah.
giving that one out.
Four and a half
That's
seems like it's just the book suggesting to Lance to Jimmy G. So yeah, let's take advantage.
yeah, definitely. I think that's one that you guys should all add to your personal plays as well. Debo over 4.5 catches in that game. We're gonna go to our final game, the Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants. I know everyone's excited for this game. Daniel Jones versus Cooper Rush. So I know everyone's going to be changing their dial to this game on Monday night. The Cowboys are getting a 1.5. How's that possible? How are the Giants favored? Anyways, the Giants are
Wait. The
favored.
Giants aren't favored.
The Giants are favored.
Oh, they are. I think so. They aren't favored
No, but how are they favored?
just because they're 2-0.
Okay. Cowboys just beat the Bengals. Who the Giants beat?
Wait, who did they beat? They beat the
They beat
Panthers. They
Tennessee
beat
and
Tennessee, and
Panthers.
two teams who obviously don't look great. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the Cowboys to win this game, and what actually happens as far as stats go is going to be very intriguing. Right
Do you think there's
now,
going to be a quarterback controvery once Dak returns?
no. What did Cooper Rush have? What did Cooper Rush throw for last week?
I have no idea. All I remember is the Cowboy fans were really excited.
Um, he threw for almost 300 yards last week.
Serious question, because I'm looking at my book right now and I don't see a single prop for Monday Night Football yet.
I have some.
Okay,
So
good.
they're limited, but I do have some. Daniel Jones throw interception. Yes, is
Oh, that is
$1.87.
so
So
tempting.
I think if it all comes down to Daniel Jones throwing a pick, I think I could root for that. Saquon Barkley is at 82.5 rushing yards. That just seems really high.
Wait, real quick. Did you see that the entire 100% of the bets were on Trubisky to throw an interception? And because the Browns defender stepped out and it didn't count, that means everyone lost their ticket. That is an insane stat because fade the public is such a popular term.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's a bad beat, as they say. So that's really tough.
No Pollard stats?
No Pollard rushing.
Oh, that's where no receiving.
No Pollard anything.
Oh, that's where I was gonna lean to. Is just to look at his lines.
We got CeeDee Lamb though.
Hold
You
on.
feeling
Let me
it?
see. Let me see how CD did with Mr. 300.
He did well last week. I'm pretty sure.
Let me see. CD Lamb had 11 targets, 7 receptions for 75 yards. Okay.
57 and a
Okay.
half. I don't think we'll ever see CeeDee Lamb at 57 and a half
No, he'll
if
never be
he
that low.
has another one of those games.
Oh my god, are we on rush season right now?
I think we
Wait,
might be.
what's CD Lamb's total receptions at? Because that'll also tell me a big story about that line. Okay, I thought it was
5.5.
going to be
That's
at
high.
I thought it was going to be at 4.5.
Yeah. So they
Uh,
expect him to be right around that 5-6 catch mark. I don't know how he doesn't get 57.5.
yeah, I don't know. CeeDee Lamb might just be the. Maybe this is the prop gods saying, we've done so many power parlays together that it's about time that we hit one. So they made the last one easy, quote unquote.
Yeah, maybe. We could come out and be like, sprain his ankle and he fell first quarter.
Oh, geez, don't even say that. Oh my god. Uh, um, I mean, that's probably the only one because I'm not touching Zeke. That Saquon line is probably a little too high for me.
Yeah.
Way too high at 82.5.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Cooper Rush
Cooper
passing.
Rush over 300.
That's $8.50.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, 200 passing yards is $1.62. Surely he can throw for 200 against the Giants.
Let's see what he had 300 something right last game.
299, I think.
Oh, jeez. I'm gonna tell you right now. No, he was 19 for 31 for 235 yards. Oh man, it is kind of nerve wracking that if we do make it to Monday, that Cooper Rush is shoulder. Our parlay would be on Cooper Rush's shoulders.
Well, all right. Let's just do, or we could get. Yeah, we won't do that. We won't get
No,
to
no.
guys.
I don't even know where you were going, but I know immediately that it's probably like something out of like left field.
What if we just
CD
do that?
50. Let's
Yeah,
do
CD.
that. You know what? If we somehow make it to the last one, let's make it less of a sweat.
All right, cool. CD50. That's the last one. $5 wins us $105,000. Almost 106. $105,801.75.
Put it at 10
Not
and I'll
bad.
send you the 5 right now on PayPal.
$10 will give us $211,603.
Ooh, I'll be able to pay off my new car.
I'd hope so.
Right? Oh my god.
All right, cool. Well, we'll put that in, and I will post that out as well with everything else, and I'll send that to you as well. And yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, Alex, and doing the show once again. It's always a blast having you on and going through the Power Parlay. Let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me at _Alex Valadez on Twitter. I'll be out there. I'll be posting some pics, probably not as much as I used to, but definitely look out for me there. And I'll be back, as long as the work schedule permits.
Don't you do like a life advice podcast as well?
No, I would say it's more of a, how do I say it, like entertainment, like laugh at the news podcast, like pop culture stuff podcast.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we can plug that though. Royalty Network, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Corey, I gotta figure out a time to get you on that show.
Yeah, man, I think that would be a trip for sure.
Yeah. No, I curtail the content towards who's coming on, so I'm not gonna make you talk about anything weird. This last episode though, we did talk about how in the chess championship, some guy got caught cheating by using vibrating anal beads to let him know what move he should make next. I swear to God. Yeah. Couldn't believe it.
Unreal stuff. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, man.